I'm all for making some moves that, are all about trying to win now, but I don't want to lose sight of trying to build something that's going to last for a while. And that means you got to be careful not to block the progress of some of your younger players. And are you running the risk of doing that if you're trying to go with quick fixes like a Cooper Kupp, like a Christian McCaffrey?
Well, I would argue my thing is you've got to do both. And I would argue with you, Mike, that bringing in a Cooper Kupp in, even if it's a 1 or 2 year deal, how much can your younger players learn from a guy who sat down with Matthew Stafford and helped him learn the offense? How much could your younger players learn about blocking guys and about running routes and about setting people up and about understanding coverage? Like how much more helpful would he be to a young player like Franklin or a young player like Vele? I would argue that is the way you develop a franchise that has the ability to stand the test of time, to become one of those all-decade teams I heard you yapping on about while I was getting set up here, adjusting my mic.
Loudly.
Yes.
I agree with Mark. You can do both, Mike. Just do both. Why can't we get a good young nucleus, but also sprinkle in some veterans along the way? I mean, it's these windows open and close so quick in the NFL. I think this is an important time for Bo Nix and his development. Put some veterans around him that can really help his development out and help him be successful. And Cooper Kupp, you're saying 1 year, $12 million? Okay, it's just 1 year. How is that going to hurt the development of Vele or Franklin or Mims? I mean, I don't think it will at all. And we're not asking Cooper Kupp to come in here and play 60 plays a game. There's going to be plenty of plays for Mims to go out there and do what we saw him do last year and Vele and Franklin.
Mark used the word sprinkle. I'm fine with that. Sprinkle in a veteran here and there to help augment your young players. I just kind of, I guess, draw the line at the idea of, hey, let's go try to get Cooper Kupp. Let's try to go get, Christian McCaffrey. At some point, now you're starting to act like a team that is – desperate's not the right word, but you really realize the urgency of trying to win now. And I just don't feel like the Broncos are there yet. That's not what I would look at what they're trying to build here. So I'm okay with sprinkling in. I like the idea of having a Cooper Kupp to help mentor and support some of the young receivers you have. I like the idea of an Evan Ingram being able to mentor and support maybe the young tight end you're going to draft. I like the idea of when we were talking about our free agent list of running backs and we were talking about the Kenneth Gainwells and the J.K. Dobbins and the Aaron Joneses of the world, with the idea that you're not making a huge investment to bring these guys in and they can help, again, support, augment, mentor the young running back that you're likely going to draft. So I'm all okay with that. I just think you got to be careful, Stink, that you don't go too far and start to project that we're really trying to win now. I think you got to strike that balance.
What's wrong with trying to win now? You don't want to win now?
I want to win now, but I want to win now with the idea that I'm going to be winning for a long time.
Yeah, but if you're winning now, the odds of building a culture and, and developing your young players and having them kind of understand the game at a higher level, I think, for a young player, and I don't know who mentored Stoke when he came in, but for a young player, the way you learn kind of nuance, there's a lot of things that happen on a grease board or in a meeting room where a coach will tell you, this is the way I want things done and this is how you do it. And sometimes they don't necessarily make sense. And what you want as a player is some nuance. I want to understand what we're trying to accomplish, what we're trying to do. And oftentimes that comes from, a veteran player says, hey, man, think about it this way or do this. This helps me a lot, and this is how I adjust it. So you want those guys in there to help develop young players. Stoke, am I on crazy pills?
No, you're all over it. I mean, you're spot on. And I think, Mike, the best way, I think this might help you out here, Mike. The best way to win.
I love it when you talk to me in a very patronizing, condescending way.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
I
I felt it.
Good,
I felt it loud and clear.
Mike, you don't like.
the best way to win later, you're talking about winning later. All right, which is fine. You want to build this thing the right way. Is what? Is to develop Bo. You got to if you develop Bo and he gets off to a great start and he has a great year this year, well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to win later. But this is an important year. That's why I keep saying this is so important for Bo's development. Let's just put weapons around him. Okay, I'm not expecting Cooper Kupp to be here in 4 years. That's fine. We'll figure it out then. Draft good players, but also supplement them with some good veteran players.
And for the
guys
record,
that are
I'm
gonna
on
help
board.
Bo.
I'm on board
It
with
doesn't
Cooper Kupp.
sound like
I'm
you
on board
are.
with Cooper Kupp.
Oh.
I just don't necessarily want to start, especially you guys were talking about Christian McCaffrey.
And that's kind of fantasy land, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, they're not trading him.
But we were discussing the idea if he's available.
Right.
And we're just kind of talking for talking's sake. And at that point, I'm like, okay, that goes back now to my point about striking that balance. Yeah, I'm okay with bringing in some of these veteran players to not only help you win now, but to help mentor some of these younger players so that you can win in the future. But, are we going to start giving up assets, money, salary cap space, draft picks to bring in somebody with that short-term idea of winning now? That's the point I'm making. Cooper Kupp, if it costs me 1 year's $12 million, done. Do it. I mean, that's no biggie. I just think you have to be careful when you're team building. How much are you putting an emphasis and urgency on winning now with your roster moves versus the idea of, we're not only trying to win now, but in the future by developing young players. That's my only point I want to make.
And Mark, I think Evans brought up earlier in the show. We're talking about the difference between maybe a tight end joker and a running back joker, and he said, well, Sean Payton says your joker needs to run the football and also be able to be good in the passing game, and Evan Ingram's not going to run the football, but what kind of things do you think he could do? Because there is a difference between a tight end joker and a running back joker. What kind of things do they do with a guy like Evan Ingram in the running game?
Yeah, I've seen Evan Ingram run a bunch of jet sweeps, a bunch of reverses. I've seen him run some inside handoff trap stuff. Yeah, so I've seen Evan Ingram run a bunch of stuff.
Anything else that he runs?
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting set up.
Oh,
What?
dang it.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I
Why
mean,
would we be setting you up for
What
something?
are we setting you
Well,
up for?
because I could see. Let's see. Stoke does a good job of keeping his poker face on. You can't control yourself.
What do you mean?
Your little
Yeah, you
little
did.
face
You
gets
gave-
all
you gave it
excited.
away.
I didn't give anything away.
A little
Thanks a
bit,
lot,
yeah,
Mike.
because you started laughing, you're chuckling, and
Yeah, you're
You
like,
know
"Can't
something
wait."
is
I'm
up.
just happy to be here. I got Fig
Yeah.
Newtons to my right. I got Brandon Stokley to my left. I got
Well-
Mark Schlereth on a Zoom call. I'm done.
What else does he run?
What else
Mike,
does he
go
run?
ahead. Give me the punchline.
No, what does he run?
well, Mark, okay. Yesterday I said,
darn it.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say it, too.
I know we had him.
We
He
had
was
him.
going. I said the one word I want Mark to say. This was yesterday. Is the orbit motion, right? I wanted
Yeah.
to get you to say orbit, and I thought you were
Orbit.
going to say it yesterday, and you didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then so I tried to lead you into saying it again
Yeah.
today.
I
and,
felt something, and I've used the orbit reverse on many
Yes.
different occasions because it's part of the West Coast vernacular. But I could see Mike's chubby little cheeks, he got all snickery, and I knew. A snickery is a word, by the way.
Yeah.
Snickery, and I knew something was up.
I
I could
know.
I could
That's
see it.
Stoke,
I could
that's my
see it.
bad.
Yeah.
I don't have the necessary poker face.
Right.
I just I did give it away because he started talking about jet sweeps.
I know. I thought we had
I
him.
thought we had him. I thought
Oh.
Orbit was coming up, and that's why I started to grin.
That would have been a
And
big
that
win
gave-
on Friday.
That would have been a great. That would have been almost like an O'Reilly.
Almost.
Seriously.
Yep.
If we had gotten you to say
Yeah.
Orbit.